how's it going, people? Welcome to Six Score, and today in some jam-packed NBA action, we're gonna talk a bit about the controversy of yesterday's game between Nuggets and the Clippers. As you can see on the screen, we're gonna talk about Milwaukee Bucks and bits and bobs here and there, and of course, we're gonna talk about the games that are happening tonight or now as I speak, as I am recording this video. We're gonna have some talks, we're gonna go some predictions and bits and bobs here or there. So smash the thumbs up, smash the like button, subscribe if you're new around here, if you're interested in some NBA opinions from across the pond, from Europe, basically from Europe. But of course, we're gonna kick things off, as I said, with NBA action between Clippers and Nuggets, and this was the big thing last night. Big talks whether it was a shot clock violation or not. Jokic threw up a three-pointer, a Hail Mary, which was basically an airball, and it got caught by Gordon and it got put in the bucket. But the big question is, was it shot clock violation? Because I have seen about 50,000, what it feels like, clips and videos on it. I have seen about 10,000 images, and I still have no idea. Obviously, the call was after reviewing the tapes and everything that it wasn't. Hence why Nuggets won by one. Nuggets won the game by one at the end of the day. So this basically was a game-winning shot. So that even puts an extra drama behind this. So let me know down in comments below whether for you this was a shot clock violation or not. Because for me, it's a toss-up. Because as you can see, it's 0.1 seconds to go. And his fingers are still on the ball. As it hits 0-0, obviously, it kind of looks like Gordon still has some of his fingers touching the ball. At the same time, it looks like he doesn't. Obviously, the video is a bit distorted. Same goes for the imaging. So basically, it's up for interpretation. And basically, by the letter of the law, based on how the referees make their decisions, if it's not 100% certain, you cannot make a decision by 100%. It basically goes with the fact as the call tends to be called on the court. Obviously, the big question is, does this change the series? Does it sway the series in that regard? Because this could be a turning point in the series in general, and that leaves also a big question, what could happen potentially in near future. But moving on the games as well, and one of the games upcoming in the that happened last night as well, it's this one. Clippers. It is Bucks versus Indiana Pacers. The game happened. It was 2-0. The action switched to Milwaukee. And basically, to some extent, Bucks' backs were against the wall because it was 2-0 Indiana. It didn't look like too much like Bucks had any chances because Giannis was doing his thing more or less. Besides that, nothing was going for them. Even with Lillard obviously coming back from the injury he had, the thrombosis and all that stuff, it didn't look convincing. Obviously, he hasn't played for an extended period of time, so kind of you can expect that. But sorry, at the same time, even when he's playing, you can sometimes see the situation going on with everything that there is lack of chemistry, because sometimes when you pass the ball, it's a turnover where it seems like a simple pass. There is miscommunication defensively and offensively between quite a few players, and there are obviously rumors circling around the Bucks that if they basically go out in round 1 or even round 2, Giannis might be requesting a trade. He might go somewhere. So who knows what's gonna happen in that department. Of course, there have been some numerous destinations mentioned which team should go for him, could go for him, and all that stuff. We're gonna basically dissect this after the playoffs or after the Bucks are out, because there will be numerous reports and we're gonna talk about this. But in the game 3 of the series, Bucks caught life. Let's just put it that way. Milwaukee Bucks caught life. Obviously, as you can see, Pascal Siakam for Pacers did his thing, 28 points, 18 from Aaron Naismith. Obviously, Halliburton as well, 14 points. And everything, Obi Toppin, 10. So bench kind of contributed, but it was nothing compared to what Milwaukee Bucks did. Obviously, they traded Chris Middleton for Kyle Kuzma. So far, it looks like it's a bust of a trade to some extent, because Kuzma, it feels like he's doing nothing for the team to some extent. You would expect him to score at least 15 to 20 points minimum. You would expect him to rebound better, assist better, do things much, much better, obviously. But it's not the case. It's not the case. He has worse production to some extent if you compare him to Middleton, obviously. But on the contrary, right? Giannis Antetokounmpo, 37 points, 12 rebounds, and 6 assists. Fantastic. 5 turnovers, not great. That thing I don't like. Brook Lopez was kind of anonymous in the game, which is a big issue. Gary Trent Jr. Scored 37 points. He had game of his life to some extent. He started the game and he made 9 out of 12 3-pointers. 75% from the field, 3-pointers. That's alone, single-handedly, basically carried them over the line. They caught life from an unexpected X factor, which basically put them back into series. And that is the big thing. And of course, as you can see, so we're going to talk about the games that are going to happen tonight, right? And Indiana faced Milwaukee. And the big question is, can they do it? Game is in Milwaukee. Can the series be tied at 2-2? 4th and 5th seed, close neck and neck. Could that potentially happen as well? Unless someone else steps up, but Bucks bench was very clutch for this, and they ultimately got the job done. So it's not 3-0 in the series, and they got it over the line, and they kind of actually blew them out of the water. 16 points, it's nothing to sneeze at. Now, if we move to Boston, it's not looking good to some extent. Obviously, they played, and they played without Drew Holiday, one of their defensive maestros in the team, and as you can see, Al Horford started as the number 4, Porzingis in the 5. John Brown's 19 points. You would expect him to score more. Derek White missed a lot of threes, I'm not gonna lie, but still 16 points, 5 assists. Jason Tatum did his thing, 36 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, which more or less is Tatum's norm to some extent. He should be doing that. But the game 4 is happening tonight, and this is for me the big thing. This for me is the big question. When will Porzingis wake up? Because for me, for Celtics to be actually dominant, good, and exciting, Porzingis needs to play good. And so far in this series, he's been questionable. He had a decent second game, but first game and the third game have been genuinely questionable. Obviously, there have been talks that Porzingis also might get traded due to salary cap and all that stuff. He might be one of the favorites to be traded during the summer, so time only will tell. But Porzingis, I don't know. It's very weird. He had 6 rebounds, less than I would expect. He had 7 points, which is not great. He had the worst plus minus, which you don't see on the screen, but it's cut off. But he had the worst plus minus in the team, 16 points, minus 16, which is not great. Also, as you can see, 3 players, which means Celtics used only 8-man rotation overall, which also is not ideal. Because if you compare it to Orlando, as you can see, if you do 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they use 10-man rotation, which ultimately paid the dividends at the end of the day. Wagner scored 32, Banchero 29, Wendell Carter Jr. scored 10 with 12 rebounds, Anthony Black with 9. So they all contributed, and Celtics at the moment, it might be the fact that Celtics are going to have a rough start of the playoff series. People are still saying since they are defending champions, they have some sort of an edge and everything, but so far, you kind of don't see it. And also added to the fact that Celtics have basically everything to lose, and Orlando at the same time have nothing to lose and everything to gain, it puts a very nice spin of the series, especially given the situation that the game 4 is happening tonight, and if it goes 2-2 in the series, it actually could get quite nasty if you are a Boston Celtics fan, definitely. But I still expect Boston to go through, but if they want to kind of catch some fire, gain some momentum, today's game is a must win. And if we talk about the games that are happening right now and tonight, as you can see, Pistons are playing the Knicks at the moment. Fourth quarter just started. Pistons are winning by 7, so if Pistons win, it's 2-2 in the series. So that is a very interesting one. See what's gonna happen there and how that is gonna go. But yeah, Pistons are actually putting up a very big fight against the Knicks. Knicks have a team that should be getting somewhat, at least in the second round, minimum in the playoffs, and everyone's expecting to maybe go even further with some bit of a luck. Nobody's expecting too much from Pistons. Yes, they're back in playoffs. They're kind of trying to claw their back after tanking for it feels like a 55,000 years, they're actually back in playoffs and they're enjoying it. Cunningham is doing his thing and see what's going to come from that, of course. But the other game that is happening, which we haven't mentioned still, is Timberwolves versus the Lakers. The game starts my time in 22 minutes, which I'm going to definitely watch. I want to see how that is going to go. But currently, Minnesota leads, as you can tell, 2-1 in the series. Game is at Staples Center, so that will be very, very interesting how that is going to develop. Because the first home game, Lakers lost. And again, it's very weird that if you look at the Lakers team on paper, they have two big names in Doncic and LeBron. And besides that, they have, I don't want to say nothing, they have kind of Austin Reeves and players like that. But you kind of don't expect them to do much. They don't have that player who can basically catch fire out of nowhere. Reeves can do it, but not too many on consistent basis. He's not that guy who's going to be the third man who's going to basically carry you over the line. Contrary, on the other hand, if you look at Timberwolves, they have players that can do it. They have Randall, and they have obviously Anthony Edwards. They have Gobert under the basket and everything. They have some very nice role players, very decent players off the bench. And I think this could come down to bench production at the end of the day. If we are not talking just about starting fives. It will be very interesting because Luka also played the game with some stomach virus, which is not great. He had a bug. So that definitely put some damper on his thing. Still scored a very nice amount of points with rebounds and assists. I think he will be fully healthy for today. So time only will tell how that is going to go. But one thing is for sure that Lakers cannot afford to lose this game. Because for me, if they lose this game, Lakers are out of playoffs. And their experiment to basically trade Anthony Davis away for Luka Doncic is going to be a massive fail, and again, Lakers will come up short big time. They obviously are seeking a way to get back to their past glory days, but so far, it's been more miss than a hit. So, let me know down in comments below, what do you think? Was it a shot clock violation, by the way, right here? Or was it not? Are you happy that the Nuggets won or not? And give me some predictions for tonight's games. Obviously, the Pistons-Knicks game probably is going to be done by the time this is going live, because this video is going live as I'm recording this after an hour. Let me know what you think about Timberwolves versus Lakers, Magic versus Celtics, and how important for Celtics is this second game as well. And of course, Bucks versus Pacers. All these series, by the way, that are happening tonight are 2-1. So every single team has a chance to tie the score, which definitely for the neutral viewer would be quite fantastic. So let me know what you think, how is that gonna go, how it's gonna play out, and who are your favorites to win the series, and who are your favorites to win the NBA title in general. So take care, stay safe, like, comment, subscribe to the Sixth Core, and I'm gonna see you very, very soon. Peace.